Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for another Photoshop party. Just before Christmas, so we're going to go into preferences. Prefer what you want for your gift. This is it. Yeah, right, whatever. Um, Now we're just going to talk a little bit about preferences. I also want to talk about something new in Camera Raw, brand spanking new that you're going to look at and go, huh? And look at some old pictures that you got. So let's go ahead and share my screen real quick and go to Photoshop. Number one, the end of April, beginning of May, 50th anniversary of Texas School. We're going to do a Photoshop 0 to 60 in a week. So if you're interested in that, great. If you're not, then sign up for the next one. West Coast School. If you sign up now, you can still get a bit of a monthly payment program. And all you have to do is call the office number 1-800-439-5839 extension 3 or extension 1 or extension 2. Whatever extension you want, Mel Carl is going to answer the phone either at West Coast School or PPC or whatever he is today, and start your program now. We got what, just over 6 months left, so you got 5 payments to make, and you got to have
Yep,
them
five
all
payments.
made.
Yeah.
They have to be all made before school starts. Otherwise, you're going to walk up and say, I'm ready. And, well, you still owe me $100. And without that $100, you ain't getting in class. And we're keeping your money. So sign up now. Photoshop 0 to 60 in a week. Um, Actually, it's more like 0 to 75, but I don't want to exceed the speed limit in California because they're really mean over there. Them highway patrol guys don't give nobody a break. So westcoastschool.com, ppconline.com, or 1-800-439-5839. Sign up now. And if you sign up now, you can also get a Mikey discount. Only Mel has the answer to that, how much it is, but you will get a discount if you mention my name and you're signing up. So sign up now. Okay, let's go to Camera Raw. Let me minimize this screen so I can see what I'm doing now. And you can see my screen with the Stingray in there.
Yep.
Yep.
One of the really cool things, let me get some stuff adjusted really quick. So we'll just hit the new version of AI, which has adaptive color settings or profile. Takes a second and it does a little bit of work for you. So you just go to your color settings at the top or your profile settings. You got Adobe Color, Landscape, Portrait, Standard, and Vivid, or go all the way up to Adaptive. Adaptive is wicked cool because it says, oh, I know what you need. Okay, so adaptive it is. And
Can
if you
you
look at,
show a before and after on that one just to see the difference?
I think I can. Well, yeah, let's do this. Let's do, if you hold the Option or Alt key, you see down at the bottom it changes from cancel to reset. So it did a little
Didn't really
bit.
do anything.
It did a little bit. Watch again.
Okay, just a little on the
It
Stingray.
brightened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and that's
Thank you.
before I add all the light adjustments, the color adjustments, and all that stuff.
Right.
You want to kind of do all those ahead of time, or why not? Just go ahead and kind of shove it in. And if you look at this image, you go, wait a minute, there's reflections all over the place in there. Well, this is the Georgia aquarium, and I was shooting through glass. So, and I was standing back. I should have been up against the glass, but anyway, no problem. So we'll go to the remove tool up there. And the newest thing, and I believe it is also in um, Lightroom, is reflections. So you click on reflections and you wait. And is it perfect? No. But does it do a heck of a job? I'm happy with it. And I'm sure once they start getting it refined and up to date better, it'll go quicker. So let's see if I can do a before and after. It also took out some of the rocks and things like that on this image, or some of the detail on the rocks, which made him stand out a little bit more. And it didn't get the top area up here. So like right up here, let's make it a little bit bigger. And then we'll go back to light. Hey, fix me.
Hey, Michael, if you went to the reflections option there and pulled the 100% down, would that bring some of the rocks back in?
It probably will. Let me do that. That should automatically clean things up, but it's not doing that.
Hit return twice.
What's that?
Well, I find when I do that, if I hit return, it does it. You know.
Oh,
like-
hit remove. Okay, duh. That'd be a smarter way to do it. Thank you, Sandra.
It's the little things.
It's the little things. I'm looking for a return button and go, there's nothing there, and I don't want to open it yet because I'm not done.
I meant enter, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go back to the remove tool and reflections, drop it down to so if I bring it up to about 55, 56%, you can see most of the reflections are gone. So I could take that one out too. There we go. So we have two areas taken out. And you're right, if you do the adjustment here from 0 to 100, it makes a big difference. So I'm going to hit cancel on this guy. And just to show you that it won't do, you can see we have, looks like a handicap sign up
yeah.
there and an exit sign over here. So if I hit the special tool there, hit reflections, give it a second. Now I wonder if the remove tool, remove distractions, would take those people out. Oh, it did take out the
Yeah.
signs, but it also cut off the shark.
Poor shark.
Michael, is this under beta or is this an actual thing now?
It's 2025, isn't it?
I think it's an actual thing running now. If you do the latest update of Camera Raw and probably Lightroom, it should be in Lightroom. I'm not sure if
It's
it is.
not in Lightroom. I just looked.
Okay. One of the things you may have to do is go to there's a setting in, it might be in preferences, I'm not sure, to where you start doing, or in settings, technology previews, new AI features and settings panel. So just click that box in the Camera Raw preferences. So in Camera Raw, you go up to the settings wheel. I don't know if it's in Lightroom or not, if you have that setting wheel up there.
I'm looking and I don't see it. And initially I'm not seeing it.
Okay. But you have it in Camera Raw.
Yeah, I just checked my, I was just in Camera Raw looking, I don't have it.
Okay.
So
So
can you walk through that again? Okay.
There's a dialog box up here, the settings wheel. Click on that, or Command or Control K. Click on Technology Previews, which is the last one down. And then click, you got to make sure that that box is clicked. It says New AI Features and Settings Panel.
Okay.
And this does have to be done on Camera Raw images. It can't be a JPEG that you open up in RAW.
I'm not seeing that selection, so I must have to update again.
Yeah, I just updated it recently, so I guess
This
upgrade.
was last week that I updated. So I'm going to hit open and say open, open, open,
Yeah, I
open
don't have that option either. That's interesting.
to open.
Yeah, my latest version is version 16.5, 1954.
That's for Camera Raw.
Yeah.
Let me open it up in Camera Raw. About Camera Raw. What do we got? 17.1.
Okay, that's me on me. I gotta update again. Thank you.
You betcha. Okay, so I'm going to go to my remove tool. R for remove is mine. I've changed it. So circle that one, circle that one. Make sure that's highlighted, taken care of. Go away. Both of those are gone now. We'll go to find distractions. See what it does with people. Oh, it took some of them out, or it's going to.
Well, it didn't really get all of them, or nowhere close.
No, but it's a start. Oh,
Oof.
made me a Christmas tree over here.
Oof.
Oof. Yeah. Is it perfect yet? No. But give them a couple of years and they'll have it. So let's do that. Do this. See what it does. It's still magic what it's been doing. So it's getting there slowly. You have to do it a few times. But could you imagine how much you had to do before to take those out? There we go. Take that. Say goodbye.
Michael, it's not how much we had to do. It's how much, if we looked at it as too much, we just avoided the image.
That's so true.
That is very true.
Whoops, next.
Well, you look at it and you go, okay, that's going to take 3 to 4 hours to do. I ain't going to mess with it.
Yep.
And then some damn judge will say,
You
What's all
should
that
have,
crap?
yes.
Yeah. You know how those judges are.
no.
Anyway, that stuff is brand spanking new. So I'm blown away by what Adobe's done again. Also, if you haven't heard, Adobe will be making all the monthly people go to annual renewal versus a
Excuse
monthly
me?
renewal.
Excuse me?
When your subscription is up, I believe that Adobe will be making you go to an annual renewal versus a monthly. If you want to do monthly, it's going to go to $14.99 if you're in the $9.99 version.
Whoa.
This is
So it's
effective, yeah, January 15th. That goes
January 15th. But
Well, I missed that announcement.
I
Wow.
did too.
Yeah.
they'll be notifying you when your subscription date is up. Mine is
Wow.
up. I think mine expires in September.
Yeah, so between now and September, you'll still be $9.95. And
Right.
then September, yours, unless you change it, will go up. But effective for those beginning January 15th, any subscription after that. So you have time now to make it annual and you won't be affected.
Yeah.
So if you
and
make it annual now, it'll stay the same. But
Yeah.
if you
It'll stay-
don't, it'll bump.
yeah, correct. So it'll be 12 times $9.99, which is what,
20.
one,
20 more or less.
yeah, 118
You
and
have between
change.
now, you have between now and January 15th to upgrade. if You're doing the monthly program.
And there's nothing. I went on my Adobe account trying to see if there's a place to go to the monthly, and there's no place for me to do that. So I may have to call them and say, hey, how do I do this?
Well, if you see that, let us know, would you please? I
Yeah,
hadn't
because
seen
mine
that.
just shows annual plan paid monthly.
Right. So when your subscription is due, because you went, it's an annual plan. So mine was like September 1st, 2014 when I signed up for this.
And
So
mi-
I've been paying them $10 a month since then.
oh, mine's October.
Okay. So you got plenty of time.
Before January 15th and you'll be okay.
Man, I hate these subscriptions. Just let me buy the damn program.
That's not how they make their money.
I'm going that way.
Yep. And some of them are more expensive than Photoshop, some of the plugins and stuff. I mean, you look at Topaz, theirs are expensive, Nik's expensive. You spend a
Well,
lot of money.
maybe we as photographers need to adopt the same concept. If you want a family portrait, we charge you every month you want to look at it. Every month you want it on your wall, you send us $20. Get pissed off at your family, then we'll take it back. Just a thought.
You first, Kevin. You first.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to desktop, and we are in Photoshop now. And we're going to talk a little bit about preferences, I hope. Whoops, not that one. That one. And to get to preferences, you can either go to, in a Mac, you go to Photoshop, down to Settings, which is now Preferences, or you can go to Edit, down to the bottom in PC, and that'll get you to Preferences, or Command or Control K. If you can't remember where it's at, Command or Control K will get you to Preferences. There's a couple of things. Number one is Auto Show Home Screen. This, when it first came out, was annoying as heck. If you don't like it, what you can do is click on the PS in the upper left-hand corner, and it changes it back to old school. But every time you boot up, it's going to give you that. So it's going to come back to this.
What
If
do
you
call
like,
that drives me crazy. I didn't know you could get rid of it.
you can get rid of it by checking on the PS in the upper left-hand corner,
Upper left-hand corner over there.
right
Oh,
above your
up where-
toolbar.
Oh, okay.
That little, the blue and black PS. Or if you like it and you're in this mode, you can click on the house up there, it's the home screen, and bring that back. If you don't like it and you want it to stay away forever, I unclick Auto Show the Home Screen. I do not like it. It does show all of the images that you have opened recently.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing if you're trying to find something really quick. Otherwise, goodbye.
Yeah.
Skip transform when placing. If I go to Bridge and I have an image open and then I want to place in Photoshop, if I don't have skip transform unclicked, it's going to bring it up in transformation. So I have to adjust it first before I can lock it in. Otherwise, if I skip transform, it just automatically puts it in there. And if you're doing multiple files at a time, that's a time saver to skip that. Export clipboard. If you copy something onto your clipboard by Control C or go up to Edit, down to Copy, or however way you want to copy, you can export it to another program, whether it be Word or another drawing program or whatever. So I keep it going. If it's too big, it'll pop up, say, I can't play with you, you're too big. And it will tell you that. Resize image during place. When you place it in Photoshop, it normally resizes it so it fits the whole screen, whether width or height, whatever the version of your image is. And always create smart objects when placing. Well, I leave that checked because I like smart objects because I can make them small, make them big, etc. If you want to create a new layer when using the brush tool, you can. I don't. Here's one that came up in my class last weekend. When we were making a brush, somebody clicked, do not show this dialog again. And they unclicked it and they needed that dialog box back again. Right here, you have reset all dialog boxes. So reset all warning dialogues right there. Just click on that. That'll bring them back. and you can get rid of the ones you don't want again and keep the ones you do want. That was interesting because I didn't know that till recently. Let me open up a file real quick. This one. Open, 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 open. Okay, cancel. Command J a couple times. We'll go back to Command K again, and where we were was interface. You can change the colors of your interface to make yourself happy. When I'm teaching, I do it in this mode. At home, I'll normally have it in the either medium dark or light gray, one of those two. And then highlight color, if I change it to default, it changes my default, like on my layers panel. Layer 4 is highlighted right now, but it's a dark gray, or my interface on the left-hand side right here is a dark gray. If I change it to blue, I can see what's highlighted a whole lot easier, and I love that blue color. It just works so well for me. Other things, UI font size, I put large. You can have tiny or you can have large. I like large because I'm old and want to see things, and my screen is a high-res screen, so everything goes small to start with. So I need all the help I can get. And then also click on Scale UI User Interface to Font. At the bottom down here, show channels in color. I don't care. I don't use channels very often. Show menu colors. Okay. All these, I think these are default the way they are, so no big deal. Also, when you're working with your appearance, your color theme right there, if you hold Command Option Shift and click on these, you can change it to toast. You can change it to coffee. So if you like your coffee light,
Oh my God.
it's just one of the Easter eggs that's in Photoshop, along with in the toolbar, you got your banana. So we got that as well. Okay. What the heck just happened there? I don't know. I just hit reset on there. And you know, if you hit Option or Alt and click on the cancel button, it goes to reset and it resets what you just finished or fixed. In that case, I fixed it and it turned out weird, so I unfixed it. Now it's better. I do large tabs. Workspace is not a whole lot here. When I open documents, I open them as tabs. So at the top, you have a tab up there. Instead of having all these windows open all over your screen, I just have them in tabs so I can go back and forth between the ones I want. Tools, show tooltips. Well, the tooltips, let me do both rich tooltips and tooltips. When you hover over a tool, this is the rich tooltip. It comes up, you click on here, and then Aaron Nace will give you a little video. He'll give you a quick video on how to use each tool. Aaron is an expert. He does Flern. He's one of the people you need to follow on YouTube. So that's why I have that up there. So workspace, tools, undo show rich tooltips, because that's the videos. I don't need that. And I don't need the tooltips on there. Right now, here's the tooltips. You come here, hover over it. I said you hover over it, and it shows you the shortcut, keyboard shortcut to go with them. So what you can do is start learning the keyboard shortcuts. C for crop tool. Okay, I already know that. I don't need the shortcuts anymore. So go to my tools, show tooltips, turn them off. Yeah, it's cool. As you're playing with the tools, The J tool has a whole bunch of tools inside of there. So right now it's set to the patch tool. If I hold the shift key and J, it rotates through the tools. As you can, I don't know if you can see that because it's so small over there, but it goes through the patch tool to the healing brush, spot healing brush, all the way through all these. So that works really cool too. You can turn that on or off. I keep mine turned on. So Command K, tools, use shift key for tool switch. Okay, that makes it easy. Over scroll, I've got no idea what that does, so I'm not going to say anything. Enable flick panning. Some people like this, some people hate it. So let's go to really big. And if I hold the space bar, it turns to the hand tool. If I swipe to the right, you notice how it keeps going. Swipe to the left, it keeps going. If you turn off the flick panning, so I'll turn that off real quick. Tools, enable flick panning, turn it off, say OK. Now I hold the space bar, the hand comes up, but as I do it, it stops when I let go of the mouse key. If I'm working on a huge file, I like to be able to flick pan all the way across there, and I like that version of it. So on tools, keep it. Arrow keys rotate the brush tip. If you're working with a brush that's not a round brush, because a round brush, no matter what you do to it, it's going to be round. But if you have a different kind of brush, you can rotate the brush by hitting the the left and right arrow keys. So let me open up a brush right now, B for brush. And you can see that is a weird brush right there. I'm going to put it in normal mode so you can see it. Command new. Let's make it 10 by 8 filled with white. Big brush. So when I click on it, bring it to 100%, click on it and it does that. If you do the right arrow key, it rotates clockwise. If you do the left arrow key, it rotates counterclockwise. So that's one of the cool things that you can do with that. Command K, tools. So arrow keys rotate brush tip. Sure, why not? It's another shortcut. Snap vector tools and transform to pixel grid. I don't have a clue what that does because I don't use vector tools very often. Show reference point when transforming. That little dot that shows up in the center when you do a Command T for free transformation. If you turn that one off, that dot disappears. That dot is useful. Let's go ahead and click OK. Go back to this file, Command 0. If I want to write Command T, you can see I have the dot right here. If I rotate this image, it rotates on the dot. Cool beans, right? Command T. If, let's go backwards, Command Z. Do the same thing again. I'm going to put the dot in the upper right-hand corner. So now when I rotate, it rotates off of that dot, which is pretty cool. So I use that. I keep it. Sometimes it doesn't need to be used, but it works for me. Here's the big one. If you do spring-loaded shortcuts, let's say I'm in my brush tool, B for brush. And let's make the brush a little bigger. Or not. Soft round brush. There we go. I'm painting away in here, and I want to zoom in on the yellow area. I hit the Z key, hold the Z key, zoom in on reflection removal, let go of the Z key and it pops back into the brush tool and I start painting again. That is what's known as spring-loaded tool shortcuts. So you can use a shortcut while you're doing things, hold it for a second, do what you want to do, let it go, and it pops back to the tool that you were using. I think the timing sensitivity default is around 200, and you probably want to have yours up around 800. Otherwise, if you use keyboard shortcuts, you hit B for brush or Z for zoom. If you hold it too long, it'll bounce back to the tool that you were using before, and you can't figure out why your keyboard shortcuts aren't working. The reason I know that is because that happened to me. So bump it up to around 750, 800, and you'll be good to go. And these kind of are just preferences, zoom with the scroll wheel. So if I click that on, click OK, and I zoom in and out with my scroll wheel, I don't like it, but that's all personal preference. So back to tools again, turn that back off. History. Not a whole lot here. This is all default that I have set on mine. File handling. Probably the biggest thing I like is automatically save recovery information every 5 minutes. If you're hauling along doing a monster amount of work, 5 minutes is a lot of work that you're going to lose if your computer crashes. I think default is every 10 minutes.
Yes,
So,
that's the default.
yep. I keep mine at 5. It doesn't bother me to have it back up for me. You should also be hitting the Command or Control S key on a regular basis to save it on your own. I think you get into it and you forget to save it, and you've worked 3, 4, 5 hours on it, and then something glitches in it, and you lost all that work that you didn't save because you totally forgot about it. So don't forget to save. And I set mine to 5. It's only happened to me once in the last year where my Photoshop crashed and I had to use the automatic recovery. And what it does, it opens it up in Photoshop when you reboot Photoshop. It says recovered file. So you're good to go there.
Now, I see that one of the things you don't have is under file extension, I have default file location. I don't see that on yours. That's interesting.
Huh. Okay. That's under file
My
handling.
choices are on my computer or the Creative Cloud.
I have Creative Cloud. I picked that a long time ago. I don't know. I don't know why this. And you're in file handling right now?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't like the cloud so much. I want to be in control of my files, not let somebody control them for me. So I don't save to the cloud very often. Next one down is enable legacy save as. If you're having trouble saving a file and you only get like 4 choices, PSD, PSB, TIFF, and JPEG 2000 or some garbage like that, click this and you get all your files again. So if I click OK, Command Shift S, it should have all of these files in there. If you have that box unchecked, you only get like 4 choices of what you can save as. And ask before saving layered TIFF files. It's going to say, do you want to save all the layers or do you want to save it as a copy? I normally just save it as a copy, but sometimes if I'm saving a layered file, I will normally save it as a PSD, a Photoshop file. So that's how I do that. Maximize PSD and PSB file compatibility always, or you can tell it to ask you. I've never told it no, so I just do it always. Recent file list. Right now, mine is set to 20. So when I open the recent file list, this is what I get. You go File down to Open Recent. You get 20 files. Hit Escape, Command K, go back to File Handling, change this to the max, 100. Click OK. File, Open Recent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many.
If I have to go look through these, I might as well just go to Bridge and find the file myself.
Does that eat up a lot of memory doing that, Michael?
I don't know how much memory this eats up. I'm sure it eats up a little bit. I don't know for sure. I just know, like, how the heck am I going to find? Wow. I opened up Balloon Festival. Okay, cool. Not. Command K, back to file handling, back to 20. I saved that so it'd be there again. Exporting. Export format, JPEG 7. I don't do 7, I do 12. I don't know why it says that. I don't export anyway, so convert to sRGB, and then export assets to the last application specified. Cool, whatever. I don't do a lot of exporting, so I don't know. Okay, the default for performance and memory uses is 70%. Depending on your machine, you may have to crank it up a little bit or crank it down a little bit, doesn't matter. If you crank it up, it's going to say, okay, I'm going to hog all the memory you got, and I'm going to use as much as I can. On the right-hand side, you have Use Graphics Processor. If you uncheck that, a lot of things will not work. Number one, your oil filter, your tree filter, your flame filter, none of those will work. Advanced settings, I haven't played with, but you can see they're all checked. So click OK. History states, the more history states you have, that does affect your memory use. So if I crank it up to 1,000, everything I do is documented in Photoshop. The history states will not, repeat, will not show up once you save it and close it. And when you reopen it, the history states are gone. So if you're looking to see what you did the last time you made this, you're out of luck. I'm going to set mine to 20 because that's normally where I keep it. Cache tile size 1024K, that's standard. And multi recompositing, I've got no idea what that does. I don't know everything about Photoshop, believe me or not. Okay, image processing. This is one of the most important ones. Select subject and remove background. You want to have cloud detailed results selected as your default. That will get you a much better selection than if you do device. Device is faster, quicker, gets it done, but the selection's like half as good a quality as the cloud version. The thing is, you have to be connected to the internet for that to work. Next up, you have selection processing, remove tool processing, and detail processing. This one especially I've seen where you want to be more stable. A lot of times you use the remove tool, you select over the area you want to do, you hit go, and it paints it red. It didn't make a remove because it was in faster. So more stable will keep it going for you. So I just put more stable for all of them and see if it works. Next one down is scratch this. If you have a secondary disk hard drive connected to your computer, click it for a scratch disk. That way it has more places to store memory. So when it's working on a huge file, it keeps your computer running faster. So I have my LaCie 20, which is, I think I got 4 gigabytes left on there. So I just go ahead and click that, and it's my scratch disk. Basically, it's a backup for the memory, and it works. Cursors, I don't mess with these. You can tell it you want show crosshair and brush tip. When you do that, it gives you an exact location where you're dropping your brush. It's also equivalent to, I'm in my brush tool now, if I hit my cap lock key, this tells me exactly where my brush is going to hit. So it's right between right in the middle of the O on does, and it makes my brush hit there. Right click, make the hardness 100, so you can see it even gooder. Click on the O and not right in the middle. Boom. That's where it's hitting. Yeah. Scratch those cursors. Other than that, I don't mess with those. I mean, that's just the way it came out. Transparency and gamut. Some people say they don't like this checkerboard. Well, if you're working in black and white, that checkerboard may not show up. You can change your checkerboard to red and white, or you can change your checkerboard to Christmas, red and green. I said red and green. And now it's Christmas. Well, I don't want that, so I'm just going to hit Option, Reset, or Alt, Reset. Grid size, you've got small, medium, and large. That's the large one. Grid size will go to medium again. No, I said medium. Oh, that's because I did the wrong thing. Duh. How about if I hit large versus color? If you don't like your grids and you're on a blank layer, just turn it off. Turn off the grids by going to grid size, none. I like the grids, so and I'll do medium. Units and rulers. Rulers I do in inches 90% of the time. If I don't like the inches, I can also right click on my ruler and go to pixels. Or you can go to percent. So you can find 50% of your image really quick. Drag your guide over from the other ruler, go to 50%, and there's the middle of my image. I do points for my font or for my type. That's just the way I was raised to do points. I think that was from my journalism class in high school when we did chisel and hammer and chiseled stuff to print the newspaper. Print resolution, I set it to 300, screen resolution to 72. That's pretty much default for everything, I believe. Column size and gutters, I don't worry about that. If I'm doing gutters and stuff, I'll do it in my setting up the guides and doing it that way. If you don't like cyan as your guide when you're doing guides, you can change it to any color you want. If I have a conflict with colors where the cyan's popping out, change it to yellow, change it to checkerboard, draw a grid, and now it's yellow and you can barely see it in the white there. So that's why I always my go-to is the cyan because it's totally different. There it is. And all these you can customize whatever you want to do. I mean, that's just all up to you. Plugins, that's default. I don't mess with that. Type. This is one where it could make you a little crazy. Number one, show font names in English. Of course, for me, that's the way I work in English. Number two, use escape key to commit text. If I hit the escape key, I want it to just go away. I don't want it to say, oh, you don't want that? Well, let me fix that for you. Here, boom, it's yours. I don't want that. So I unclick that, use escape key to commit text. That means when you type something and you hit escape, it's going to lock it in. I don't want that. Fill new layers, new type layers with placeholder text. That's either you love it or you hate it. Me, I love it because it tells me when I do that, it tells me what font, what size, what color of font, all that stuff shows up. So if I hit OK, go to new, do that one, thank you, go to type tool. That is what's called lorem ipsum. That's filling it in there. And it shows me that I am in Adobe, I guess that's Caslon Pro. And it's coming up in a gray color. So if I don't want gray, click this beautiful green right here. That's perfect. So the next time I do a font, it's going to say it's in green color. So you can change it before you get started. It also shows you what your settings are on the very top, whether it's left justify, right justify, or center. You can change the bold to regular, change the font size before you get started to 12 so it'll fit. Come back, come back. There you go. Cool. If you don't like that, unclick fill type layers with placeholder text. I do like that. You can also tell it how many fonts you want to display your recent fonts. Mine's set to 10. So the last 10 fonts that I've used will show up when I'm typing. Enhanced controls. I got no idea what that does. Default, technology previews. That's default. And last but not least, Photoshop Improvement Program. Do you wish to participate? Do you want Photoshop looking at everything you're doing as you're doing it? I'm not paranoid, but I know they're out to get me. So I will ask them not to be looking at my computer. They will collect image data that's viewed by researchers, access cloud documents that would be viewed by researchers, collect information on how you use the software to identify trends and usage patterns. They say they won't use these images for anything but to improve their services. Okay, whatever. You're not getting into my stuff, period. Any questions on the fastest 30 minutes of boring setup in your computer for
I
Photoshop?
just gotta wait till you post this so I can go back line by line and redo all mine.
Yeah, it's you go through it a couple times and well, that's not going to work for me. Let me refix this and let me adjust that. And you figure out what's working for you and what doesn't work for you.
It
So,
seems like though, you and I went through this and then I get updates and I go back and everything's changed again. So now I gotta remember what the heck I had it at.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you, updates.
This latest update we got erased all mine out and I had to reset them all again. Normally when it updates, it says, do you want to keep all your tools and all your preferences? But apparently it doesn't like your preferences. It says, we're going to give you fresh. Start over.
You fool, we're gonna fix you.
Yeah, exactly. So, questions? Going once, going twice.